Well, I hope you didn't go far as we are right back into the action here. Nico Kurz going up against Leonard Gates here in this exciting match. Just going to pull up here on the bracket where we are, as this is going to be a 5th, 6th place match to get into the top 4 here, as this field is just as stacked as ever, as it does look like Leonard Gates did best out Kevin Munch. Nico just pointing up like crazy there, going 181 points ahead. Gates right now, even if he bets, will not regain the point lead. As we saw Nico play scary good earlier for the 26-year-old. Nico looking right down there. Almost through before the board changed over. Had to give it a second there. Look at this. 6 mark, 7 mark, 6 mark for Cruz. Or Kurz, excuse me. Now I'm doing it. This is what happens. You put me in the booth next to somebody. We start rubbing off on each other a little bit too much. Gates only finding 3 mark there. Means Nico is still in control as he can just keep hammering away like he has been. Ooh, tried to use that as a marker, but ended up twisting and pulling his dart over. He really wants to take away those 18s here, but might just take the safer route and get a couple extra points on this last start. Let's see how he approaches this. Either one has an argument for it. You can see the amount of people watching this one. Yeah, stayed there. Gates can regain the point lead now. Oh, that's going to be a tough block there. It's hanging. Yeah, he has to go ahead and hit the switch up there. And then tries to hit the cover shot. Yeah, with the way that was hanging on the 18, I don't blame him at all for taking that approach. Look at this. Nico is just playing on point right now. 8 mark there for Kurz. Leonard Gates. You can see the ferocity of these players right now. I mean, they're as serious as it gets. Garrett and Brandon are serious players, but they were a little bit more smiling, a little bit more laughing. There's no smiling and laughing going on here. This is true motivation, as these guys are just going through this. And a great last start there as Nico is averaging, other than that one off around here, has to be very close to a 6.0 or 6.4 average.
Big darts being had from Nico for sure. Nico just taking a look as he'll go for the 15s. Now for the win. Oh, okay.
That's the one that misses, the easy one, Nico? Come on.
This is a 5th, 6th match, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. So this is going to get them into that 4th place matchup.
So we're actually cruising along pretty good. We may be done by 2 o'clock. Maybe before.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty close there.
Looks like we are waiting on one.
So yeah, Chris Lim and Brandon Perez will feed into this one as they're going to start their match here in a few. But that's the first leg to Nico. Averaging a 5.45. Went down a little bit there at the end, but played phenomenal. Gates with a great opener there. Forcing Nico to stay on the 19 for all 3 darts now. Marks the distance, plenty of room to work up from there, but catches the wrong side of the wire. You can see Nico's frustration there.
We got a question about who did Leonard Gates lose to on the winner's side. Well, that would be Garrett Rakowski, who we just saw. Played Brandon Perez.
The Gates is heating up now as taking advantage of Nico's poor start to this one. You can see the amount of people coming over there to watch this, as this is some exciting drama on the dartboard.
Well, it's not only that, it's just that we're starting to come down to the nitty-gritty part of this bracket, and individuals have fallen off the out of the tournament, so they're heading on over to hang out for a bit.
Well, how about a white horse for Leonard Gates there? It's one of his favorite shots to take, as he does it in a style. Nico going over to the 16s now. He's not going to give up on this one.
Well, hey, folks. Quick piece of advice here. Who's that ugly guy?
Ooh, they just let anybody in the hall.
I guess they do. We got Kevin Luke sighting. He's in town today, so
great to see him as always, as he's also one of those top talents you hear us talk about.
We're getting some German friends in the chat here as Nico is playing. I believe it's coming up on about 9:30 local time there.
That is a great 3 in the black there for Nico. Unfortunately, it might be too little too late, but it's a well-thrown shot. Alexander there explaining the different formats that we have for soft tip darts here. Appreciate the translation there.
Man, just silky smooth as Nico Kurz. Just doesn't have any movement except for that arm, and that's exactly what you want from a throw.
Well, Gates is just trying to wrap this one up here. Needs one more bull. And does do so. So now it's one apiece here. One of these guys, Will, is going home after this, and the other one moves on.
That is crazy to think, isn't it?
Absolutely insane to think with the talent level that we're seeing on the dartboard right now.
Well, that was a 6.15 and a 4.80.
Yeah, 1-1 score line as they're going to write down the stats, and they're flipping for diddle, it looks like.
Nico said, show me one.
Leonard wants to make sure this is a good one.
Oh, indeed. You have to.
And that is handing on that right side of the board as well is going to make it hard to get through that dart without having to move your starting position.
Oh, my. Well, Leonard Gates will have the throw here in this deciding leg.
Leonard's going to be starting off strong here because he knows how important it is to do so. Look at this. Crisscross on the flights doesn't matter. 180 points, or 180, but of course opening it up, so 120 scored. That graphic throws me off every time it shows the 1080 regardless.
It's getting a little late too, so can't forget that one as we scramble on with our coverage tonight. And how about a great answer from Nico as he gets a 9.
And this is that third game of pressure for both these players. They perform well under it, so they want to be pushed. They want to be forced to play great, and they are both great players. Five for Nico doesn't give him a point lead, but Gates has been pointing a little heavily lately. In these last couple weeks here, we've seen him point more and more than ever.
Now, does he take a look? No, he'll stay right there. And you mentioned it. He's pointing more than ever. He knows who he's playing against. So he's electing to make things interesting.
Things already are interesting here. These guys are putting on a show for all of us here watching along.
That is...
Leonard Gates now. Finding 4 marks there feels frustrated because it only ties up the scoreline and kind of gives Nico a chance to really drive.
Does take a shot and collects. Big hit from Nico.
Has that very serious cadence and stature about him as Nico wants to represent Germany well, and he has so far.
Gates pulls off a 7, but it's not enough to get him in the lead here.
Nico going to continue expanding his lead. Wow, look at this. Another 9 mark there for Nico Kurz. Big lesson there on the 18 to kind of keep Leonard alive here, but if Nico keeps this up, this is going to be hard for anybody to stop. He's already thrown 3 9 marks in 5 rounds.
Nico just on a tear. He's only had, listen to this, folks. Look at this. He's had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 marks that are not triples. 5 marks that are not triples.
I actually just got a little sick to my stomach when you said that. That is grotesque at how well he is playing. Leonard hitting a big 7, though. Or 6 mark, excuse me.
Yeah, look at that game screen there. I mean, that's just insanity. Granted, there was a couple rounds before that, but man, nearly perfect.
It's a little closer than Nico would like to be at this point. If he hits the 15, it's the dagger that might get him the game. If he hits the 19, it gives him a better cushion and is a safer play. He chose to go the safer route there, and that's a good execution. Of course, the reason that is important is because that single, it would be extremely impactful if he did miss. But it's Nico. Why would I ever assume that he's going to miss?
Gates, unfortunately, kind of falling behind here in this one. Up to Nico to go ahead and take out the 15s and bowl to win this one.
65-point difference is not good for Gates here, as that means he'll need 3 bowls to close and then 3 more to score enough points to get back in this if Nico doesn't point here. He does, and that's a really smart shot. It adds so much more work for Leonard to do and almost mathematically eliminates him at this point. Well, 2 bulls there does mean that Gates, if he does get a shot, will have 6 bulls to regain the lead. But I don't think he's going to get another chance here. Nico's trying to end it right here.
And look at what it means to Nico. He just said, like, man, I guess I got to do everything I can to win this one. And he says, you can see him, what it means to him there as he collects a big double bull and goes right hands to the knees.